Hello everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome back. This is D, Divine Feminine 101. Welcome back to another beautiful week. I hope you had a good week, by the way. So today I wanted to talk about signs of an emotionally abusive relationship. Well, the thing is, like, a lot of people have this twisted idea of what a relationship should really be or what to look out for in relationships. And like, I was listening to a teacher's sermon. Like, this is somebody I listen to quite a lot. Very wise person, especially, and he talks about a lot about relationships. So I was listening to his sermon, and he was talking about to his teachings, and he was talking about how a lot of women were like fatherless, not because they don't have fathers or their fathers were not present in their lives growing up. He was just trying to say something about a lot of women were not properly schooled about life's difficult lessons, like about marriage and things that a lot of fathers should have taught their children even at a very young age, so that these things will be embedded in their subconscious minds even whilst growing up, or even as they grow up. These things would have already been in their subconscious minds. For instance, don't be with a man that shames you. Always choose a man that will treat you right. It's not necessarily about the looks or what he has now. See if he has good prospects. All those things that a lot of fathers should sit their daughters down and teach them. I mean, it's not intentional sometimes because of the structure of the society. A lot of fathers are more worried about being providers for their families, as opposed to actually schooling, especially the female children, about this life's lessons. So I mean, we can learn through instructions or experiences. Unfortunately, a lot of women learn life's lessons through very difficult experiences. Case in point, last week, it was about last weekend, on a Sunday. I have this friend, and she had a baby about a year and a half ago, actually like 2 years ago, because the baby is almost 2 now. And I mean, she left her job because that was her first child and all, and to take care of the child. So, well, she has a nanny. Her mother lives with her as well to help her take care of the child, and this is somebody that literally hasn't been out literally since she had a baby. So she's been like ringing me up, like, okay, you have to come take me out. I mean, not anything heavy, maybe just like to the movies or something. So I haven't actually had the time. So on Sunday I thought, okay, you know what, I will take you up on the Alpha and I will take you out to the movies. So we were going to go to the movie. So she got all dressed up, which hasn't been done in like forever. We got into the car to go to the movies, and on our way out, her husband called. I mean, I wasn't privy to the conversation, but I could hear like the screams on the other side, on the other end of the line, like, oh, how dare you go out? You can't go out. You have to be back in the house. Go back home. Your friends who's taking you out. This, that. I mean, and after the conversation, I could tell, like, she was really uncomfortable because she didn't know how to convey this message to me, like, okay, I can't go to the cinemas anymore, considering the fact that she's the one that has been on my case to take her out. So, I mean, I picked up on it already. So, and, if it's a relationship, I mean, I'm all talk and I'm going to be asking questions. Well, it's a marriage, and, well, I know better than to get involved in someone else's marriage. So I'm just like, so I just said to her, you know what, maybe you should go back home. Maybe you're actually needed at home. I'll get off here and take a taxi. I mean, that's the least I could do, because I knew she was worried about actually taking me back home before going home, and it was going to be like a whole, fiasco. So I just said to her, let me just get down here, and so she calls me like 2 days later to apologize, like, oh, I'm really sorry about that day. And I asked her why, like, what's going on, is everything okay? And she said, well, I mean, it's not the best of situations, but I mean, I can't get a divorce, we're Christians, and I've just carried my cross and I'll live with it. And she's like, oh, as a Christian, I can't get a divorce. I mean, God this, God that. And I realized that A lot of abusers will keep, or manipulators will keep people in relationships based on and use excuses like legal grounds, like, oh, we're legally married or something something, or use an excuse like God said, or God won't allow. And like I said, I wouldn't get involved being a marriage or anything. If it was a relationship, I would be like all talk, but I had to keep quiet. But the truth is, I mean, deep down, I don't believe that God will be a part of something that can literally cost you your life, like, or your sanity. I don't believe God will be a part of that. And like they say, people put people together, and God puts people together. So sometimes we put ourselves together with another person because yes, we love that person or whatever it is. Does not mean God is present in that marriage. I mean, if it's abusive and it's toxic, that's not God. But anyway, those are my thoughts, and let's just go through the signs of an abusive relationship and how to spot one. If you're in one, if it's a relationship, I guess you can change it if you don't like the situation. But if it's a marriage, then may God be with you. Anyway, so let's go through it. Okay, so the first sign is your counterpart, or the counterpart would withhold emotions. Usually it's usually men that tend to play this on women, and vice versa. Some women do this as well, but most of the time you normally see this more common with men. They withhold emotions, and what that means is that they leave you guessing. So you're in this relationship with a guy, and he's just like, you're not sure where the relationship is going, or how he feels about the relationship, or how he feels about you, and you're just doing guesswork, like, okay, I don't know. I mean, yesterday he looked at me like in a very nice way, so maybe he loves me. 2 days ago he was very nasty, so maybe he doesn't love me. He doesn't say anything about the relationship. It kind of leaves you guessing through the whole thing, and what that does is actually it breeds insecurity. And sometimes this is actually done in a very intentional way, so it just keeps you like strung out on the person, like hung up on the person, and you're not really sure if you're going forward or moving backwards, or where the relationship is headed, or where it's at. Nothing is ever really clear. And like I said, this is a form of emotional abuse, emotional manipulation as well, because you're never really sure. You're just strung out, you're insecure, because you don't know what's going on really, and the person never really says anything about anything. So that's one sign. And another sign of an abusive relationship is that the person makes you feel bad about yourself. And how does this work? Okay, so you meet a guy, and now this could be vice versa. It could be either a man or a woman, but let's just use a woman for example. So you meet a guy, and you're in a relationship with him. I mean, this guy came up to you, he asked you out and everything, and then after you're like really relaxed and thinking, okay, yeah, so I'm in this great relationship, then he starts to go, usually, I normally go for for someone like me, I'm not skinny. So I mean, a guy would say to me, for instance, if I'm using myself as an example, I'll usually go for like really slim girls, and yeah, really skinny slim girls. That's kind of my spec. And then you're wondering, dude, I'm not like that, so why'd you come up to me? So they keep saying things to make you feel bad about yourself, so you're wondering, like, and this is what happens when they do this is you start to alter things about yourself, and usually the things they make you feel bad about are things you can't really change. So a guy would say to, or a lady would say to, like, a tall dude, like, normally I don't like guys that are that tall. Do you understand? It's like the difference, so sometimes it's just like I would rather a guy that, like, yeah, but it's not like too tall, or you can't make yourself shorter. So they keep doing these things to make you start to devalue yourself, literally. So you start to try to change things about yourself. I prefer people that that have like my last few girlfriends had like MBAs, they had their masters, and you're just like a BSc holder. So you're thinking, okay, am I supposed to go back to school to add up to whatever it is you're looking for? And the funny thing, the people that do these things are usually people that are inferior to you. Okay, let's rate it. For instance, you see, like, for instance, take a girl that is like, on an average, if you're rating her, she's like a 10, and then she meets a guy that is like a 3, if you're rating him, or a 4. I mean, so what he does is he breaks her down so much that she doesn't even realize, and make her into a 4. She becomes so insecure about herself that she lessens and devalues herself to a 4. And now she doesn't know she's a 10. He knows she's a 10, but because it feels like he's not up to her standard, he needs to, rather than try to elevate himself, he breaks down her confidence to a 4, to where he can actually manage her, because he knows it's inferior to her. Normally he wouldn't even be able to get that sort of woman, so what he would rather do is break down her confidence so much. Now keep in mind, this could be vice versa, it could be man or woman. I'm just, it's a game that will be geared towards men more. I mean, not that women don't do it. We have some highly manipulative women, but I mean, this is something typically maybe a game a guy would play more often. So he lessens her to like a 4, So I mean, that's another way. That's another form of emotional abuse. She starts to look herself as less than what she actually is. Okay, so another form of emotional abuse is that they isolate you from the people that from your people. So you're dating this man or woman, and they constantly, they don't like anybody. They don't like your friends, they don't like your mother, they don't like your... So for instance, it's a guy, so you meet this girl and she has an issue with your friends, she has an issue with your mom, she has an issue with this person, she has an issue with that person, and after a while he gets very uncomfortable to actually invite his friends to the house, because she has such an attitude with them, and she's treating them bad, and this man is thinking, well, I can't even bring my friends around you. So they kind of make other people feel uncomfortable when around the both of you. What that does is to make your friends not even want to come around you, or your family not want to come around you, so they isolate you. So that when they start to abuse, like emotional abuse, they start to inflict pain and mental abuse and all sorts, there's nobody really there to save you. So those few relationships that those few people that refuse to go away, what they do is actually, go around to those people and try to smear your name. So that's what they do. So they would literally just isolate you from everybody that can either help you or save you. So by the time they've made them feel bad about either coming around the both of you, then there's no one left. So you're actually at that person's mercy. That's a typical form of emotional abuse. They have to isolate you so they can abuse you properly, emotionally. So that's another sign. I mean, one has to be really, really, one has to start to discern when you're with somebody that just doesn't like anybody you're with. Or, I mean, it starts very subtly. Like, I dated someone once that anytime my friend or a member of my family would call, he had an attitude. My rival, these people are calling again, they never stop calling you. So what now happened was, I was being careful about not picking up so many calls whilst he's around, because I didn't need the stress, and that's what I thought it was at the time. I was like, I don't want to argue, without realizing that I was actually isolating all my friends. And after a while, they wouldn't call anymore because they're like, she won't pick up, maybe because she's in a relationship or whatever it is. So that's something else to look out for. Now another form or sign of emotional abuse is they can't see you happy. they have to ruin all your happy moments. That's what an abuser will do. The moment they see you happy, they're once you're happy, they're looking at you like, why are you so happy? Why are you so happy? And they try to ruin it. They try to ruin it. So a good example would be it's your birthday and you're celebrating, and this person is there looking at you like, why are you so happy? Why? And they just have to start a fight or something, just something to take away that happy moment away from you. And what this does is they don't want you to be happy outside of them. They don't want you to associate happiness with anything else that is outside of them, be it your birthday or you got a promotion or whatever it is. They have to sabotage it. They can't see you happy. No, they have to try to destroy it. So if at all you feel happy, it's got to be something that has to do with them, so that's another major sign of emotional abuse one has to look out for. Another sign is they threaten themselves if you don't do something they want you to do. Sorry, they threaten to do something to themselves. They threaten to hurt themselves or something, So, so this form of manipulation is mostly played by women. I mean, fortunately or unfortunately, I actually it was like about a month ago, there was a young lady, I'm not that close. I spoke to like once or twice, and she was working and had all the money in the relationship, and the man was actually living with her. She's young and he's quite young as well. So, and she was the one providing everything, literally. So he just lived off her basically, and every time he would say to her, well, if you break up this relationship, I'll kill myself. Okay, this is something I know that women would normally do, but this was actually played by a man. And she started to feel really guilty, like, okay, yeah, I'm getting tired of the relationship, but I don't want him to kill himself. And I mean, this is like emotional abuse 101, like literally. And so I was speaking to her, and she kept saying to me, oh, well, yeah, he says he'll kill himself if I break up the relationship. I'm like, really? I mean, if he's crazy enough to kill himself, he's crazy enough to kill you. You better hightail it out of there. Like, literally, get out. Who does that? Like, seriously. So if he's going to do that to himself, then he'll do it to you. Why would you sit down there till someone kills you? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So that's like emotional abuse, the highest form of it, literally. They threaten to leave, but they never really go. So they pack their bags. I'm going to leave you. I'm leaving. You're such a this. I'm leaving. I hate to say, I did this as well. Okay, so this was a while ago. I'll take it that I was very, very uninformed and maybe pretty much a broken woman, because I actually didn't realize what I was doing was wrong. So I was seeing someone, and every time we went in an argument, like we spent a lot of time together, so my things were at his place, his things were at my place. Then I'll pack up my things and go, well, I'm leaving. And every time I did it, he would run and say sorry and apologize. When there was this particular day, I packed up my bags and I packed up everything. I was like, I'm leaving, and he didn't do anything. I was like, oh shit. Long story short, that was the last time I did that anyway. So, well, yes, so it's a form of emotional abuse. It is wrong. I've learned that it is wrong now. I won't be doing that anytime soon or ever again. But really, it's a form of emotional abuse. They keep threatening that they're leaving, and you're thinking, what have I done wrong? You're constantly saying sorry, and this person is constantly, every time you blink or have a disagreement, they pack their things and they're ready to go and you're leaving, but they never really do. Next time, just call their bluff and see if they go. So another form of emotional abuse is that they make you feel like your opinions it doesn't make sense. So you're in the presence of a manipulator and you're trying to give your opinion, like, okay, this is it, and the person is just like, no, it doesn't make sense. I don't understand. Why would you even say that? That does not even make sense. Oh my god, I can't believe you say something like that. Oh my god, that doesn't make any sense to me. What are you talking about? I mean, I had a relationship once that I mean, same person would go, I mean, he would always team up with somebody I had a disagreement with. Always. He would always team up with the other person against me. And we were supposed to be in a relationship. And then every time I'm trying to explain my point, he was like, and I'm like, are you saying I'm lying about this? I mean, why would you be teaming up with somebody I have a disagreement with against me? And it's, initially I was like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm the one that is wrong, because he would not be intentionally teaming up with, an enemy against me. But it happened every single time. Once I had a disagreement with someone, he would team up with the person against me, and he would go, and I'm trying to explain myself, and he's like, well, yeah, the person said, and I'm thinking, are you serious? So what this forces you to do is, after a while, you stop giving your opinion. You become very slow to give your opinion. And once you stop giving your opinion, what happens? They give you one. So what happens is that you end up not having an opinion anymore. So they give you their opinion. They give you an opinion. So they're speaking for you, basically. That's another form of emotional abuse. Another one is that they play the blame game. I'm trying to rush through this, so I apologize. I don't want this to be too long. So it's your fault. Everything is your fault. Their misfortunes, their bad behavior, it's all your fault. Oh, you made me do it. So literally, you can catch a manipulator cheating. It's your fault. They don't take responsibility for anything, by the way. Oh, it's your fault. You made me do it. Oh, it's because you did this last week, so I had to repay you by doing this. Oh, I had to do this. Oh, no, it's your fault. It's your fault. Oh, and the classic one is, do you know what I had to give up for you to be in this relationship or this marriage? What did you give up? Oh, do you know what? I gave you my best years. Oh, especially when you've had enough of the relationship and you want to leave. Oh my God. Then the blame game starts. Oh, after I gave you my best years, I gave up my life for you. I gave up this. No, you didn't give up anything. We were in it together. If you gave up something, so did I. But they don't know that. They have to blame you for everything. Everything's your fault. The sun came out this morning, it's your fault. It rained during the day, it's your fault. Everything's your fault for their misfortunes, their bad behaviors, their lethargy, their horrible behaviors. Everything is your fault. They cheat, it's your fault. Anything has to be your fault. They blame you for everything, because a manipulator can never, ever accept responsibility for anything. Never, ever. They have to play the blame. They have to lay the blame on someone else. So that's another form of emotional abuse. Another one is subtle comparisons. So they start to compare you very subtly to other people. Like, for instance, a woman might say to her man, I mean, look at your friend, Dave. Oh my God, he's doing so well. I think it's because he went back to school to do his master's. Don't you think that if you did that, maybe you can get a job like his? No. What she's saying is that she needs you to make more money so that she can live a good life like Dave and his partner. Or a man will say to a woman, I mean, sis, did you see your friend? Oh my God, I can't believe she just had a baby. Do you see how good she looks? Wow, you should ask her about her exercise plan or her diet plan. Oh my God, you should really ask her. You should really ask her. What he's saying is that you don't look good enough. So it's very subtle, very subtle. Sometimes you don't think about it. You just think, oh, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Yeah, he or she just wants me to do better. But when it happens quite often, then you realize that it's like a subtle way to devalue you. So after a while, you start to feel quite insecure about yourself. So it's just, they subtly break you down in bits, and that's just another way to break down your morale, so to speak. So my last one and my final one is never be with somebody that shames you. If a man or a woman will take your mistakes of the past, and throw it in your face every single time, they have to shame you with something, with a mistake or a secret you've told them about, or something they know about you, some information that they know about you, they have to shame you with it. Never, ever will continue with such a person. I mean, I don't care the sort of relationship I have with this person. When somebody starts to shame you with your mistakes, I mean, people in your life should help you grow and not bring you down or make you feel less of yourself. So when you find somebody, a man or woman, that has to throw your mistakes back in your face and shame you with it and constantly talk about it and constantly throw it in your face like, oh yeah, you did this, and they never get past it, it's never going away, it's something they have to use to insult you at every single opportunity, that should be the end of that relationship. It's an emotionally abusive one, and you should never be with such a person. So I'm 25 minutes in, and I know I had to rush through this, I apologize, but I mean, this is signs of being in emotionally abusive relationships. If it's still a relationship, I mean, you can change it if you don't like the situation. If it's a marriage, well, I'm sure there's like counseling, and I mean, I do really do hope it's something you can work on and something you can change. So do have a lovely evening, have a lovely week ahead, and stay blessed. Namaste.